All right, welcome everyone. So in today's video, I know we've got some pretty positive news with Dogecoin's recent price action. So I just wanted to take a deeper look into that today and go over some catalysts, some things that I'm seeing in the charts that I believe is important for us to know, and what we can expect going forward, some possible resistance or battleground areas. So I think this is really important for everyone to know. So before I jump into the charts and everything, I want to make sure that I can be heard. So I'm going to place this in the chat. Per usual, you guys know the deal. So can you hear me? Let's let me know if you can hear me, and then I will get started properly. So let's see. I'm going to adjust my chart here. And we're actually seeing a few things. Okay, perfect. So what we're seeing here, we're seeing quite a few things in with the price action. So we were able to fill the gap I was mentioning of in my last video. I'm going to circle it here for everyone. So there was a gap, not gap, excuse me. I called it like a valley or a trough. We were able to fill that in my last video, since my last video. So this was in this area right here. You see pretty much everything below this was, I call it like, you can call it like a valley or a trough, and it's not a gap down. So this is really good. So as far as the price action, it was certainly, you can just call it like literally a valley or a trough. And I was saying that if we were able to fill that, we would pretty much come here with the price action at around like 14.3, 14.2, which is roughly where we are now. We are developing a little bit, looks like of a slight rejection here, but overall, we are above our 72-day moving average. And we have a green candle, which is here, above the 72-day moving average. Now, the reason why this is significant is we technically peaked above this a few times this year, but those were with wicks. And there's a difference between a candle and a wick. I'm not gonna get too far into technicals here, but the last time we actually had a candle above the 72-day moving average was actually back here in November of last year. So this is why you see this really sharp bend here with the 21-day moving average, and it's quickly closing in, getting ready to cross the 72-day moving average. So this is really bullish here in the short term. And another thing that we are seeing here is, because I mentioned like a few days ago, like last week roughly, that we're seeing that the shorts were being like aggressive with price actions and stuff like that. So I want to point this out here because it looks like the shorts here, let's see. It looks like the shorts here are really, the amount of shorts in the market against Dogecoin are really declining. So this is what I mentioned in my last video when I was saying that it looks like the floor is open now for Dogecoin to have all of the appropriate action as far as for when people buy into the coin, shorts are not coming in to kind of countermeasure that and push it down. So Dogecoin is going to get more natural reaction. Like, so when we have that buying pressure or we have those catalysts, you're going to be able to see how high Dogecoin go. We don't know how far Dogecoin would have ran with the Tesla announcement. We know that the shorts came in very aggressively and started pushing back against that around 22 cents. Of course, psychology, price action and stuff like that causes discouragement from additional buying into the coin. So technically you can get a reaction in the opposite direction. We see here, there is actually a decline in the amount of shorts against Dogecoin. So we're pretty much back down here. There's no like these huge spikes with the Tesla announcement and them coming in really aggressive to try and kill this here. No, we're getting red candles. The amount of even the 21-day, you can say like the 21-day, the average as far as for the shorts against Dogecoin is actually declining. We're getting a bend down. So this is pretty much indicative to say that, hey, the catalyst, the momentum that's in the market right now, Dogecoin is facing less resistance to gain on those ticks up. Again, really positive here in the short term. We know we have, definitely have like Fed meetings and stuff like that. We still have some of the macro events out there, but overall, when you have coins that you can kind of like cool off your RSI and stuff like that, But when you have coins that would technically go through a consolidation point anyway, but they can often be forced down lower than what they would have consolidated at. So when you kind of like take the restrictions off or these shorts kind of back off, you get to see this momentum upward because now you go from a point to, okay, is it oversold? And then you have that run back up to whatever fair market value is at that time. For those of you that are not familiar with my channel, I use the analogy of kind of like a spring, right? So, you can short it down. The farther you compress it, the more violent, like upward tick that you can get when it gets released. So now we're going to kind of see here, especially with shorts backing off to this degree, we can kind of see, okay, what is normal, a normal price range, fair market value here for Dogecoin. Really, really bullish here in the short term. Now, again, we still have those macros and stuff out there that have unsolved yet. That's why I keep saying short term, because we could see some swings coming up here. But overall, right now, this is really, really bullish. As far as let me go back to Dogecoin here and let you know we're going to talk about the ride to 20 cents. Because actually, if we're looking chart wise, hold on, take that off. So if we're looking chart wise, we're going to see, because after we pretty much fill this trough here, our next point, which is technically really like slight resistance here, is going to be at around, 17 cents roughly. So at around 17, we're going to see there's some slight resistance here at around 17 cents. But overall, after that, especially with the momentum, who knows how the rest of this week is going to play out, but it could be really smooth sailing to get to 20 cents. The really big issue here that we had technically at 17, 18 cents was technically at around that point. That's where you would see, if we were running off a pipe or a catalyst, technically that's where you see shorts come in, they'd be aggressive. And normally between I think it's like 18.3 and around 22 cents. That's when they really pile it on thick and they're able to get the momentum to go the other way. But now, for the first time in a really long time, that especially since we're going on a rally, we see shorts are not being more aggressive. This is really, really interesting to say the least. They're literally, because right now, technically, even with the momentum that we've had today, right? We could have seen some sharp spikes. Technically, like a month ago or something like that, that would have been the case. We would have seen massive volume piling in for Dogecoin, and then you would have seen the spikes from the shorts coming in as well to try and get that downward pressure. But we literally see price action for Dogecoin going up and short volume going down. So the pathway to 20 cents, especially at this rate that we're going, is pretty clear. We may have some short sellers that have entered the coin, or maybe entering the coin here to try and turn a quick profit. So if we do get like a tick down or something like that, don't let that be discouraging. But if the shorts do not come back in, again, light resistance at 17 cents, but the pathway to 20 cents is actually pretty clear. So that is really, really bullish here in the short term. So this is, for Doge, this is like really, really great news overall. So I'm excited for the points to go this week. Again, we're going to have to keep our eyes on things like Fed meetings, interest rates, make sure CPIs, anything to do with like the war, that we can kind of like, again, this macro long-term events, obviously, but short term here, this is amazing. Because technically last year around this time, we were gearing up for those massive runs up in April and May. So will we repeat this year? I imagine, based off of the catalyst, I didn't think that it would happen, especially like around this time, but we saw that the Fed took a less aggressive approach when it came down to interest rate, taking the 0.25%. So that's definitely going to roll over into Q2, and we'll kind of gauge CPI to see, if they're going to be more aggressive or not. But, they're pretty much opening up the gateway, especially the shorts. The shorts have really surprised me as far as them backing off. Again, that is amazing for us. So we're going to see what the short-term trajectory is of Dogecoin. And, yes, people are asking, okay, is it possible for us to get the breakdown? Again, yeah, those macros can cause something to some panic in the market, to cause like a break downward to the downside. But this is one of the reasons why I say, okay, don't, consistently buy, but have that cash to give yourself the opportunity, because again, the market is unpredictable. So we have um, the bounce, as far as say a bounce here, because we technically filled the trough. So if you were concerned about Dogecoin, or saying that, oh, okay, well, price action wise, is it dead? Blah blah blah. That's why I made that point in my community section, saying that, okay, where are all the Dogecoin is dead people? So when you have these types of rallies and stuff like that, and now we're breaking above the 72-day moving average and curving our 21-day, this is the evidence here that hopefully you would need to get some clarity on your questions. So I'm going to take a few questions here. That's it for the video. I'm going to take a few questions here, and then I'll conclude, so that way I don't make this too long. So if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comment section. Thank you, everyone. Let's see. Will Doge ever do a large burn, or will there ever be a cap? As of right now, there's no intentions to do a burn or put a cap on Dogecoin as of right now. Yo, getting back into the greens. Appreciate the content. Thank you. Thank you. I think not at the moment, my friend. Doge is pulling back with the market, so still time to load the boat of any more, if you want any more coins. Absolutely. No, absolutely. Money Doge went to 16 cents at one time. Yeah, this is great. Yeah, the resistance between where we are now and 20 cents is very, very minimum here, especially if shorts are backing off. How do I get that shirt, Dave? Just shoot me an email. It's in the if you go to the about section, you'll be able to contact my email. Where could we be at the end of May? That's really tough, because I know the CPI numbers are going to be really rough this in April. So we don't know. The Feds may come out with a more aggressive interest rate, but I know that the CPI numbers are going to be really rough. So that them being more aggressive and saying that, okay, we need the inflation is still progressing, that may cause some slight fear in the market. So we could get another sell-off at that time. So it's hard to say as far as of May right now. We need those April CPI numbers. Last summer, those be back to 70, going straight to the moon. There we go. Do you answer questions? I do. I do. Let's say, should I wait to buy more at 12 cents or less? My DCA is 20 cents. So when it comes down to that, I have a video. I like to typically just do, when it comes down to averaging down, anything that's 20%. If there's a 20% gap or greater, that's typically attractive to me as far as being effective. Obviously, it depends on how many coins you have initially, how much money you plan on putting in, and whether or not you're going to move those numbers. But if the gap is 20% or greater, it's typically, for me, it's not a bad move. But at 12 cents, we typically, for the most part, we consolidated above 12 cents. We would get some taps down below it occasionally, but for the most part, we hovered above it. So I wouldn't try and time it at 12. So, if I'm not sure if you're long-term, short-term, whatnot, but if you are long on the coin, then, your coin count is going to be your multiplier. So I wouldn't try and time it to get it to 12, because that'd be really difficult to do, because typically we get really strong bounces off of that point. So I would, because 20 cents is certainly not bad, but if we're below it now, that gap is greater than 20%, I would get your multiplier up, and that's simply your coin count. So, being an update on the Doge One launch. Here are things like about June. I'm going to have to say, I'm going to have to verify that. But, if shorts are, shorts are going away, and we're not going to have this extreme manipulation with the coin, it's going to be a lot of positive action going forward. So, but as far as for the Doge One launch, I want to say I'm hearing stuff like around June, but I haven't confirmed that yet. So I don't want to put anything out there that I'm not 100% sure on. Can Dogecoin go to $1 this year? Without the shorts, it makes price action incredible. Because the biggest thing that I was saying, like, okay, let's possibly, with bear markets and the fear and stuff that's in the market, is obviously because of the macro events. And then, of course, we have shorts coming in as well. So it's like, okay, we have a trifecta helping suppress like the price for the moment. But now that some of those are being lifted, I can't rule it out, so especially since some of the catalysts coming forward here. So it really just depends on the state of the economy. I know some of the, I know like the yield curve is being inversed. So Nasdaq's hitting the bear market. So there are some catalysts out there that can indicate that, okay, this isn't possibly the end of the sell-off. But if everything goes well, we don't go like into a recession or anything like that, we can certainly see some much higher price action, probably even at $1 if we are able to continue. But there's a lot of catalysts out there that may conclude that we're going to see a further sell-off. Let's see. Do you do any content on electrical stocks? Lithium batteries would be interesting. I don't believe I didn't have done any on electrical stocks, but I do cover some of the stocks, especially like in like my groups and stuff like that. So I have some videos on stocks. I do like my never sell videos, but haven't covered anything on electrical specifically. So Final Stand channel says Doge will reach $1 by the end of the year, or he would delete his channel. Do you also foresee $1 by the end of the year? Yeah, I just answered something like that. It's possible, but we have to not rule out the macros that are going on and look at what's going on in the market. We are threatening an inverse yield curve. So typically that hints at a recession. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that. So as of right now, I won't be as bold to say like $1, because obviously short term doesn't triumph long term, but or a vacuum on the market. But as of right now, with the shorts backing off and the catalyst and stuff that we have, if we're able to get a natural price action, it wouldn't certainly be out of the question. I'm just not sure of the probability. To solidify Doge in the market, we need more acceptance from all different sized enterprises. How do we do that? You are absolutely correct. Pretty much the same way that we've petitioned as far as for AMC, which is it'd probably be easier when you have companies that are more involved on social media, things like via Twitter, because I believe that's how the AMC partnership was created. We're going to have to pretty much stay active with, tagging these people, let them know like the interest and showing support for those that already support us. So this is one of the reasons why I'm looking forward to an announcement by Adam Aaron. Hopefully, if he doesn't do it, we can start asking for it to say, okay, what are the total sales? We know how effective we were with Tesla merch as far as for them selling out. So now we need the numbers, hopefully big numbers from AMC, to say, hey, this is what the community has done. The community came out, they supported this business, and this will be attractive to other businesses. Other businesses will say, hey, if we accept Dogecoin, we know that wherever the Dogecoin community has the opportunity to use their Dogecoin, they show up, they show out, they support that. That's going to drive revenue for us. That's going to make it really attractive to them to make that happen. So that's pretty much how we're going to have like that expansion. But I do believe that something that like an AMC, which is the largest movie chain in the world, them being accessible to everyone, the price of entry is more so accessible to everyone. That's going to be beneficial. So I would say definitely next would be plausible, would be something like a fast food, probably like a McDonald's will be good, Wendy's, stuff like that. That there's a number of locations, massive amounts of people can participate in this utility, and the price to participate is not out of reach for most people. So we can have volume there as well. So I think that if we focus things like that, Wendy's, Starbucks, Dunkin' Donuts, just national businesses that are accessible to most people, I think that we can benefit from the utility that they would offer the coin. Let's see. Price prediction for Doge between April and May. Yeah, I need the CPI numbers. I know that it's going to be the CPI numbers when they factor in like gas and energy and stuff like that for April. I know they're going to be nasty, so we don't know how they're going to adjust the rates. So they could potentially cause some fear in the market. So I can't really give a price prediction on that short time frame, because if they cause fear in the market, we can see a further sell-off. But as long as Dogecoin is not being manipulated, we're going to see a more natural price reaction. And I believe Doge is going to gravitate toward technically where it historically trended sideways at before we started having these massive breakdowns and these I won't say rug pulls, but these liquidity issues in the market, which was at around 24 to 25 cents. So if I believe that if we have the shorts kind of stay at bay and we're able to flow more fluidly, I think that that's where we're pretty much going to gravitate back toward until we get some confirmation when the next bull market is. Let's see. What's your DCA, David? Most of my coins are purchased at around like 5 cents. I have some that I purchased like in the teens and stuff like that on different platforms that are in the teens, but the vast majority of my coins are my DCA is around 5 cents. If it gets to $1, I will quit my job. $2, I will cry. A good cry though. That's a good deal. What are your thoughts on the next stage for Dogecoin? My thoughts on the next stage for Dogecoin is certainly utility. Everything is great. The appreciation that we get from the market, whether we're flowing toward a more natural um, equilibrium, the expansion of the coin, but we need to, regardless, the catalyst, Doge One, all these types of things, great. But the end all be all is going to be utility. So as long as we can expand in that area, I believe that's this should be the main focal point of the next stage for Dogecoin. That's going to give us the more stability in the coin. It's going to obviously let it function in what it was created to do, and it's also going to be able to push back against a lot of the manipulation that's going on in the market. So the utility always needs to be the forefront. And I know I just went over some of the businesses, restaurants, and stuff like that that we can focus on, but utility should certainly be the next step for the entire movement. Let's see. So people were mad when it was sitting at 25 cents for hella long. Now they want that 25-cent mark back. Yeah, well, you know how it goes. It's human psychology. It's like if it sits at 12, 13 cents, the coin's dead, blah, blah, blah. It goes back up to 25 cents, and they're like, oh my God, why didn't I buy more coins at 12 or 13 cents? I wish it could only, if it went back down, I would load up, and then it goes back down. It's like, oh my God, I can't believe it's down. It's, it doesn't matter what it does. It's in it's in a no-win situation. But yeah, you're absolutely right. You are absolutely right. Really good timing for this video. We need someone with reliable TA to explain what's going on now. Thanks. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. When is Elon sending the Doge One rocket to Mars? I've seen some things stating like around like June, but I have not confirmed that, so I do not want to put that out there. Without verifying the information first. So I don't want to, put any misleading or incorrect information out there. But I've seen things like June. I've seen things like November. I've seen October. Like it's just a lot of different things flying around out there. So I haven't confirmed anything yet. So I don't want to just kind of like put that out there and not know. So let's see. Doge has been dropping the last 4 hours. Yeah, that's fine. We've had a massive run up. Typically, you'll see people take profits. You can't. So when it comes down to like price action, you're like, especially now with the market's pumping. Remember. I'm not sure how long you've been in the coin, but remember, we've seen this several times before, especially between like around like 16 cents and 20 cents and stuff like that, where you'll have, because now that if shorts back off, typically how it goes is shorts back off, then you have the traders come in. And so now that they'll have like that yo-yo thing until you get enough momentum to break out. So don't expect some pullbacks and stuff like that as people that are short term in the coin take profit. So that's not anything to be alarmed about. It's actually not even abnormal. When you have coins and stuff like that with a low price to entry in a market that's booming, you'll have people come in. They're going to target. It's just like targeting penny stocks. You're going to come in because you can get a lot of, and traders understand the importance of share count, or coin count. So they're going to come in. It's extremely cheap. Get a bunch of coins, capitalize off of those 5%, 10% moves. You have a lot of money, you can easily make 3, 4, 5 grand a day, doing these little trades. So, expect some price action on the way up, but that's something that we saw last year. So it's nothing abnormal. So, their platform to use, or we can push enterprises to accept Doge. I actually think Twitter is the best platform for that. That's just my opinion, but I do believe Twitter is sufficient when it comes to that regard. So I don't want to make this video too long. I may go again. I may go live again tonight just to take questions, but because I addressed the TA in the beginning of this video, I don't want to make it entirely too long, because I know that's a turn off to the information. So I just maybe do one separate just for questions. So, if you haven't yet, like the video, share the video with a friend, subscribe to the channel if you want to hear more from me. And also just leave a comment. I'm going to go through the comments in the regular section of the video. I know the live comments will kind of be turned off. So if you have any questions, I'll go through those for like the next couple of hours. So, leave those there and I'll get back to as many of you as possible. So with that, I appreciate you guys for tuning in with me. Thank you and good night.